Namaste. Welcome to Empower Persona podcast. I'm Aurora Pacrian, and here at Empower Persona, we highlight the people building a stronger, more conscious world. One purpose, one story, one transformation at a time. Through these videos, we aim to inspire purposeful living, meaningful service, and a mindset of transformation. Namaste, sir. It's an honor having you here on my podcast. And I would like to ask you 5 questions for today's podcast. Um, the first one being, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to become the person you are today? And in what ways do you feel your work contributes to society beyond what people commonly see and understand?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Aurora, for inviting me to your podcast, and it's my pleasure to answer your questions as well as explain my point of view about how things have shaped up in this my tenure as IG Prisons and otherwise as a civil servant. So, regarding your first question, briefly about myself, my name is Ravideep Singh Chahar, and currently I'm posted as IG Prisons of Government of Puducherry. I belong to the 2000 Civil Services batch, and it's been almost 25 years since I joined service. And it's been a long and checkered career as well as has given me great opportunities to make differences in the lives of people. When it comes to identifying any one particular thing or few things, what inspired me, I don't think I can pinpoint any one, but there are numerous things which probably inspired me to take up civil services as a profession. And one of them was definitely that I did want to make a difference in the lives of the common people of India and improve upon their quality of life. And I think civil services is one of the careers where you have the direct power to make a difference if you actually make it count. I'm not saying that the other careers do not have that opportunity. In fact, people individually can also make contributions in various ways, and they are doing in the civil society as well, NGOs. And there's so many social workers who are transforming lives of people. In fact, probably more than civil servants also, in fact. But I thought this would be one of the places which would probably give me a direct access to the power in my hand, which I can actually use to for the benefit of the people. And I have realized that over the years that may have this instance, if the service is used properly, you can actually make bring smiles to the faces of people, solve their problems, and that itself motivates me to do more. And I would say that since last 25 years, although there are moments where you feel low as well as you have your highs in the career, but overall, it's been a very satisfying career, and my present tenure as IG Prisons is probably one of the most satisfying ones I've had so far.
Okay, thank you. How do you view the role of structured coaching, mindfulness, transformative practices, energy healing, leadership training, meditation in reducing aggression, trauma within prisons? And how do you believe these approaches can create real change on the ground?
So when I took up my tenure as IG Prisons, COVID had just hit India, and most of these activities, whatever used to happen in the prison, like meditation, yoga, everything had come to a standstill. So I had to literally start from scratch, and I had never worked in the correctional system anywhere in India. This was my first tenure, and since I was heading the department. I had to give the sense of direction to the department and was how do we go forward post COVID? What kind of activities we do? Uh, Luckily, I met Sri Aurobindo Society people who were already working, but because of the COVID, they had also stopped working for a while. So I re-invited them, and we had detailed discussions about various things that can be taken up. And being a student of psychology, I did feel that knowledge of my psychology, probably this was probably my first assignment where I could directly use that knowledge which I had studied. And I realized that more aggression of these inmates is not really that much of a problem. The problem that is there is that when you are inside four walls for such a long time, you start developing so many issues because you cut off from the society, and you start having these issues. I mean, even if unless you are gainfully given activities which you can constantly do and which you help you develop some skills or deal with your mindfulness, there are problems like depression, anxiety, suicidal tendencies. All these things have become a major problem, and almost all the inmates are suffering from something or the other. So I wanted to develop a program which was not just targeting one or two aspects of reform. I wanted to have a holistic approach to the reform program. And that is where I realized that it is not just about the body, not just about the mind, and not just about the skill. It has to be a combination of all three. We need to focus on their mind as well as their body. They need to be healthy individuals. Plus, we need to give them the skills and the tools for which they can use when they come back to the society. Otherwise, they will again revert back to the life of crime. So, going on this philosophy, I had detailed discussions with the people with Sri Aurobindo Society as well as few other NGOs and my own staff. And one by one, we started developing this program. And as it went along, we got more and more ideas, and we experimented with some very novel ideas as well, which probably have not been tried anywhere else in India, and very probably maybe very few places in the world. Like we tried music and dance as a tool for helping these people relieve their stress. And initially, when we started that program, the inmates were very apprehensive because they did not think how music or dance can help them. And in fact, the first time we conducted that program, they were hesitant to even talk about it or even participate. They just want to sit. So, but once we are the proponent, and the volunteers tried to explain to them, and when they tried it, few of them joined, and then after that, few more of them joined, and then almost 70 to 80 all the inmates that time who were participating in the program, everybody joined in that program, and they all enjoyed it. And especially in this dance therapy, they were enjoying it so much that they pulled in all the volunteers of Sirivandam Society, and even then my prison staff got pulled in, and I was the only one left who was not dancing, so they pulled me in also. And in fact, all the boundaries of the prison inmate as well as the officials was blurred there, and we were all enjoying that therapy ourselves, because it's not that only the inmates face stress, even the prison staff is also facing a lot of stress, which actually gets neglected and nobody notices. Similarly, we as officials also we have to deal. So, but that dance therapy really helped us relieve almost everyone. And later on, when we spoke to these people, they were very positive about the whole thing, that they're able to sleep better, they're able to feel less stress. So this anxiety and these mental illnesses, along with their things, are also very, very important, but unfortunately much ignored in Indian prison system. Hardly there's any prison in India which will have a full-time psychologist or a psychotherapist. Even we don't have. So we tied up with JIPMER, we tied up with Pondicherry Institute of Medical Sciences, and we got volunteers who could do counseling of our inmates, and that started showing results as well. And then we tied up with few other people also, and we set up a counseling center in this thing, because unfortunately, prison is still one of the most neglected department, or you would say the in part of the government, and it is doesn't figure in the priority of the government, because they are the people who you can say they, I mean, the general impression is they just come to the society, they are criminals. It doesn't matter. They have committed crimes against humanity. They ought to be punished. Nobody should care about them. That is the general tendency. I mean, I have prisoners or inmates who have actually said that the entire reform program makes them feel so good about themselves, because they say when we go back to at times they get parole and they go back to their home, to their relatives, even their relatives shy away from them. Even their wives and their sisters, they don't want to sit with them and talk to them. And in fact, in this dance therapy, a couple of the volunteers of Sri Aurobindo Society happened to hold their hands while dancing, and one of the inmates cried at the end of the program, saying, Ki, I can't believe that they could touch us because our own family members don't touch. He was so touched, and he actually cried in front of everyone. So these are the moments you realize that how much we have cut them off from the society and how much they need us. So, I mean, so my main emphasis was not just the reform, it was to make them feel seen. They have been ignored, completely forgotten and completely ignored. So the moment you start seeing them and the moment you start understanding them, then only you can ensure that they participate in this reform program. Otherwise, you cannot. If you just push it down their throat, they will not participate in it. They need to feel that it is for us, and it is for making our lives better in the prison as well as outside. And that is why I must say that I've been fortunate enough that the inmates have wholeheartedly embraced this program, and they have really been integral part of it. And that is why it has been such a huge success in last 4 odd years.
They're you're conducting actually a complete integral healing for them in every aspect. Um, um, a little question about meditation and energy healing. How do you think this could help them?
Meditation and energy healing both have proven effects on the nature of anybody who's practicing it. And we have made meditation as well as yoga an integral part of their daily routine, in fact.
Yes.
And they have been taught the benefits of also, and definitely it acts as a big stress buster for them, and it helps them focus, it increases their concentration in the activities, and it has definitely been very useful for them. And we ensure that we have a good yoga teacher as well as occasional meditation experts also who come and visit the prison, and they teach them, discuss with them what their problems are, and it has definitely been a boon to them.
Okay. Um, what is being done? How does this contribute to the larger vision of the nation to Vikshit Bharat?
So coming to that, I would like to just point out that maybe about few years back, there was a team from Auroville who had come to visit. They heard about the reform that is happening here, and the secretary Auroville, ma'am, had come for as a chief guest one of the programs, and she was in a lot of praise for the reform program that was unfolding here. So along with her, there was one gentleman. I've forgotten his name though, but he was a double PhD and a very known, renowned economist, and he's an Aurovillian. And when he saw the entire program, and after that, he had some one very beautiful line which I still remember very fondly. So he says the true measure of the development of of a country or a society can only be known when you see that the lowest strata of the society, the most ignored strata of the society, is also getting the right focus it deserves. So he says, after visiting your prison, I've realized that even if your inmates and prisoners whom the society has totally forgotten, they are also being taken care of. They are also being concerned about. I can truly say that India is developing. So
Wow.
so those were some beautiful words, which and it really helped us feel really good about us, our reform program, and that is what I think we are contributing to Viksit Bharat. Because if there is a huge number of criminals in our society, some are behind bars and some are not behind bars as well. So at least the ones who come behind bars, we at least need to ensure that when they go back as reformed individuals. They do not go back and revert back to the life of crime, because crime, as our population is growing, the crime rates are going up, the incidents of crimes are going up. At least we need to ensure that the people who have come into this correctional system, they are taken well care of, all their issues are addressed, and when they go back to the society, they do not go revert to the life of crime. And I would proudly like to present the statistics at this point that the true measure of a reform is known by the recidivism, rate of recidivism. And I would proudly say that in the last 4 years, all the inmates who have left our prison, not one of them has gone back to the life of crime. The recidivism rate is zero in Pondicherry prison today. And that is the highest measure of success of a reform program. So that is what we target, and that is how we contribute to Viksit Bharat.
Okay. Thank you so much. That brings me to the next question. India recognizes 64 classical arts, and intriguingly, one of the arts is robbery. So, from your perspective, is robbery an art, a crime, or misplaced talent, which needs to be redirected towards a constructive path?
See, crime of any form can never be an art in my book, at least. Robbery, I would never call that. Tomorrow somebody can say art of killing also. Murder is an art of killing. Especially these so-called these criminals who are specializing in so many murders. They will think that they're doing an art, but unfortunately, that's not how law will look at it. Or even I, as individually, can even appraise somebody or appreciate that, yeah, that's a form of art. So definitely, robbery or any kind of crime is not an art in my understanding, and is definitely a misplaced, misdirected form of his energy and resources of an individual, and it definitely needs to be corrected. And those energies, and I've seen that once we teach them the right skills and we give them the right tools, they can use this energy in a much more positive direction towards the contribution of the society, making people's life better and their own lives better. That is what we have to focus upon.
Okay, thank you. The last question for today. What message would you like to give the citizens of Bharat to inspire them to become civil servants, serve the nation, live with purpose, transform the nation, and follow their swadharma, dharma, so everyone contributes to Vikshit Bharat?
So, what I would like to say is that we all have the power to make a difference. As
Yes.
Mahatma Gandhi ji had long back said that even one individual counts, every act counts. We at times, especially people, I mean, forget civil servants. I mean, people in larger also. In fact, they have the more power to make the difference. I was earlier, apart from IG prison, I was holding a department of local administration, which takes care of the cleanliness. Such Bharat, a campaign is being implemented by that. So there's a limit to what the government can do. There's a limit to what the civil servants can do. major difference and major changes in society will always come from the individuals, and they have to own it up. They have to own up their responsibilities. If they want their city to be better, their streets to be better, their country to be better, it is they who have to do it. The government can only guide. They have limited resources. They can do certain things, but ultimately it's the individual. So if you want to transform the nation, you have to own up your own responsibility. Civil servants can do, they have a lot of power, they understand the system, they can make a lot of difference. I have made difference. I have seen a lot of officers who have contributed over the development of the country, as well as improving the quality of life of people, but there's a limit to what they can do. So I would definitely my voice and my appeal would be to the people who are outside the system, who actually need to work with the system and to ensure that our country becomes one of the best in the world. Already we are progressing, we are one of the best countries in so many ways across the world. But when I go abroad and I visit these countries, when I compare these things, I think the difference that lies is how their citizens behave at large and how we behave as large. So we cannot blame our country for our problems, our political system or our civil system. We have to own up. And that is where at times we should not only look at the fundamental rights, we have to focus on the fundamental duties as well. So we have to realize that we as citizens have to contribute to our progress, our Viksit Bharat, and all the goals that our country has been cherishing. Our founding fathers have established these goals. We need to see how in small ways every day, small difference every day can make a huge difference towards the end of the year or end of your life. So that is what my appeal is, that we all must own up and do our duty diligently towards the betterment of our country and our society.
Okay. Thank you so much
Thank
for your time, for answering these questions, and for all that you have shared. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.